I bet that wasn't so bad, was it?
I decide when she goes home. Yeah, why? Were you expecting something else?
You've managed to keep this one alive.
Want sugar with that?
Well, it's not exactly my first rodeo.
Said, stay there!
I think your man just did.
You're sharp as a tack, PC Tinker.
Got it?
Like the cowardly little nobody you really are.
Sorry. I've got more innocent people to arrest. You want me to spoil the ending?
As we discuss the two queens of the cobbles getting hitched, it's only fitting that we too are joined by a queen, Queen of Soaps herself. Please welcome Your Royal Highness, Sharon Marshall. Welcome, Your Majesty.
Oh, darlings. I love that. It does makes me giggle when people call me that, but I also secretly love it. What a privilege to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Can't find anywhere better to be the morning after the big night.
I know. Well, thank you for joining. We are really excited to have you here because we can't wait to talk about this amazing wedding that we just saw yesterday. I mean, first of all, I think on behalf of all Swarla fans, I think I need to give a big thanks for all the amazing behind-the-scenes content that you have delivered over the last few days because it has been amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And you've also managed to start some throuple rumours, but I won't bring them. I mean, technically it was Ali, but you didn't shut him down.
Well, when you get an offer like that, did take me by surprise. No, I was very lucky to go up for the behind the scenes filming, and the press officers allowed me to put a little tease. He said, "Oh yeah, you can say you're up and you're filming," and I was just instantly inundated on DMs from Swarla fans going, "Where are you? Can you get this? Can you get this? Can you get this?" So I felt like I had been set a mission.
Yep.
And I just thought, right, I've got to do my filming. I've got to do my bit for this morning. But then I asked the lovely PR lady, Rachel Newton, who very happily did it. Can you just record everything, doing everything?
Yep.
And then I can give as much as I can because I really felt like I'm so lucky to be here. So let's try and get as much content as we can.
I guess as well, like you have this added bonus that you've known a lot of these actors for a long, long time, whereas a lot of the people who came to do interviews probably haven't had that lengthy relationship with them. So I imagine it must have been just like catching up with old friends, basically.
Well, I'm lucky enough. I mean, I've known Alison King. I've been interviewing for 20 years. I've been to 3 of her weddings, I think. This was by far the most fun.
Her Coronation Street weddings, to be
the
clear.
Coronation Street weddings, yes. I said, you guys are funding my mortgage with the amount of weddings, but this hopefully is going to be the last one. No, I'm very lucky. I literally started in the 90s, the late 90s on the tabloids as a showbiz reporter. So I've known the press officers and the people up at Corrie for, oh my God, that's far too many years. I was going to say 20 years. It's not, it's 30.
Time, eh? What a bastard.
Oh, no.
What a bitch. Time.
Shooting 1980 was just yesterday, right?
It was, yep.
But no, I've been going. I think Ken and Deirdre's wedding, the second one, was the very first wedding that I covered, and I've been going up there ever since. But I mean, bless the girls, because they were working such long hours, and we started off trying to do the interviews round the back of the stage where they were recording the factory scenes, but the walls, of course, are paper thin. And what they were doing is they kept the way they do the dancing scenes. So Sally, dancing with the girls sort of shimmying. What they do is they play the music first of all, and then everyone listens to the beat of the music, and then they switch the music off, and everyone dances in silence. So they're all that's why whenever you look at a dancing scene in a soap, there's always somebody slightly off the beat because they sort of go and then they try and remember what the song was. But as the music kept blasting through the walls, we're going, oh God, we need to go and find a set away from here. So bless them, they were running. You'll notice every bit of footage I've done, I've cut off the feet because they'd put their Ugg boots on so they could run around the set to try and find somewhere where the music wasn't coming through, that we weren't interrupting filming there. And we ended up doing it in the back of the Rovers because we were also trying to do a live feed into this morning as well. So bless the girls, they've got so much to think about. They're sat there in these white wedding outfits trying to stay clean with costume and people pinning them up and sort of saying, and they're running around the set trying to find somewhere to do a behind the scenes interview. But they really wanted to do it. They really wanted to say there was a sense that this is a really historic occasion for the soap. Vicky said to me that they knew it was going out on Lesbian Visibility Week. They knew how important it was to everyone, and they know that part of that is talking to people and getting the chat, getting as many people that backstage pass that we can to talk about it and celebrate the day. So thank you to them, and thank you to the cast and crew who are always so gorgeous at Corrie. I mean, I was sat in Carla's office. They were literally filming outside, and I was just like, oh, God, I'm literally stood in the middle of the scene. Am I not in Coronation Street where I'm stood here?
We did wonder whether you'd be there. We were like, maybe she'll be in the background
The
somewhere,
temptation
or-
to just run across on a shimmy.
I thought maybe you could make up the numbers for Lisa's side because she has no guests.
What happened to all the coppers? Where were they all?
They were at another lesbian wedding, perhaps.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I actually thought, do you think that they missed a trick? Because they could have had you be the celebrant.
Oh, I would have loved that. I'm in the terrible, unfortunate position that I can't actually ever go in the soap because people at home know me as the soap queen. So it'd be the two worlds colliding. But I've had the back of my head. I had the back of my head in Ken and Deirdre's wedding, and I had the back of my head when they went to South Africa. But I can never have the front because you can't say soap queen because none of these people know they're in a soap.
No.
So
okay, yep.
it's. Although I did dress up. Oh, so I didn't know that. I thought Lisa was going to be in a dress.
Yep.
I thought Ali might possibly go trouser suit, but I did think Lisa might be a dress. And then a friend of mine, I planned it all out. I thought, I know it's Lesbian Visibility Week. And my friend of mine had this jacket that she'd given to me. She said, oh, try and wear it one day on screen for me. And it was white with rainbow sequined pockets and the money for the profits all go to Stonewall. So I was like, that's the perfect occasion to wear it for. And then, of course, I walk in and I'm dressed identically to the brides. But we did look a little like the Bee Gees.
Yep. Well, the girls have said that they had a hand in picking out the outfits for the wedding. But you actually asked them about this when you were doing the behind the scenes. And in a little bit of a podcast exclusive, we have an unheard clip.
You both look absolutely stunning, but you've not gone for the big white dress.
I tried, but I was like, it's not very Lisa, is it? That's a bit more me. So we've opted for something a bit more
Beautiful.
So do you.
I don't know. Yeah,
So
this
do
is the
you.
comfiest wedding outfit I've been in,
still a lot of
even though I'm
breathing in.
busting out of it. Yeah, still.
You do look gorgeous. Are you happy? Do you
you.
think this would be this would be what they would choose for themselves? This
I
is
think
very
so.
them.
Yeah,
it's
sixth
nearest.
time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you look great. Absolutely. And the women of our generation as well. It's not to say that you can't go all out and wear a full Cinderella dress, but I think, this is quite fitting for them.
Demure.
Yeah.
Demure. They looked absolutely stunning. They really, and I think it was perfectly done and it was perfectly written. And you just mentioned that you sat and you held your girlfriend's hand when you were watching it. What's really interesting, the script was written by lovely Damon Rochefort, and Alexis, so I must give him his new double-barreled name. They were actually based on his own wedding vows to Daniel.
No.
Were they really?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's so lovely.
Yeah. So when they were saying it, that's what he said on his wedding day to his lovely husband, who is a scriptwriter for Hollyoaks. So I think one of the things that made this feel really real is that we've got a boss lady in Kate Brooks who is fantastic, and such a good boss. I worked for her under Emmerdale. She's so good. She so gets it. So you've got a female in charge, knowing that love story, of course, because she is married to Michelle, and then the vows written by a gay man based on his own vows that he made himself. I think that's what really made it feel real. Now you're going to go back and watch that and cry all over again.
I'm crying right now.
But I think he did a beautiful job on the script. It was so lovely.
He did do a beautiful job. It was a really emotional episode.
Yeah.
They were emotional and it just came across as just really real. It was beautiful. It really was.
And yet really Corrie coded. Like so Coronation Street. You couldn't have had that script in EastEnders, for example. It would have sounded very strange, but it just felt so warm and familiar.
Well, it is. It's all true to the characters. I mean, Suki and Eve. I mean, that was a
Oh,
beautiful
love them.
wedding. Oh, well, until the ex turned
Yeah.
up and everyone went over the end of the balcony, but the vows were beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, do you know, funny enough, that their vows, that was Pete Lawson wrote those, and those were based on his vows that he
No
made to
way.
his husband, to H, as well. So it's like the gays have completely taken control of this. But you're right, it was very Corrie coded. Only Corrie could have done that wedding. And it was written in such a beautiful way that was true to the characters. And it just felt real. And I loved that they made it. I mean, it's only taken us, 66 years to get
Yeah. Yep.
two married women living on the street. And it really did feel like history in the making. And what I loved was the fact that, okay, we did have a murder and a screen, but it was right at the end of it, and it was after midnight, so it's all okay.
Yep.
But the wedding was enough for the episode, for the
Yeah.
covers.
Yep.
It wasn't that we have to get them squashed by a factory or a runaway thing or this other storyline coming in. It was enough. What the viewers wanted was to see these two girls together saying their vows, and that was enough. And
It was more than enough. It was more than enough.
that's what I'm saying. They didn't feel the need to throw loads of other stories and other things around it to go. It was like, no, our big story is this. This
Yep.
is what the viewers want. That's what's
Yep.
going to make the covers of the magazines and sell out Inside Soap, and nobody can buy it anymore, which is great.
I sent Ali a copy.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. Has it arrived yet?
I'm still waiting on it.
Oh, bloody post.
Now, was Kate Brooks on set for any of it, of the filming of the wedding?
I didn't see her at the reception, but she may well have been the actual bit in the hotel. Do you know what I was thinking to myself, why this had worked so much? And I think I went right back to say, in the 90s, I was on the tabloid papers, and we covered storylines like Beth and Margaret's kiss in Brookside, and I think every time a gay storyline had been done, it was definitely on the papers, definitely covered through the male gaze. It was titillation. It was two beautiful women, but lesbian kiss, written by men, aimed at men with the storylines and purely done for titillation. And I think why this worked was that it was written from the female gaze, a female boss writing it, a gay man writing the storylines. It was written from that perspective, and that's why it was real. It wasn't, here we are presenting a piece of titillation. It's, here we are telling a real story about a real love. And it's really interesting because when I walked around as the office, somebody said, well, why is everyone going to man? I don't get it. And I said, well, that's because you're a man. It's not for you. It's for us. It's for women, and it's two women in their 50s, and it's real, and it's love.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a love letter to love.
Yep.
Do you not think it's incredible, by the way, that it's not, yeah, they're in their 50s, but like, go on TikTok. There's like 18-year-olds, queer females going, like making these videos and these endless kind of memes about it. And just, I find that really overwhelming that it's so popular with so many different age groups.
I think soaps work best when you see yourself reflected on screen. And I'm working on This Morning. I've worked as a scriptwriter for several years, but one of my main jobs is on This Morning, covering the soaps. And I always talk about same-sex relationships in exactly the same way as it's just, these two people are in love. It works. It doesn't. We like them together. We don't. It's the sexuality isn't the storyline. It's the characters. Do they belong together? And it wasn't until somebody came up to me at a party. There was not a boy. He was then grown up. He was in his late 20s. But he said, "Oh, I was watching This Morning, and you just talked about a same-sex storyline." And he said, just the way that you talked about it, I just turned around to my mum and I told her that I felt the same way about a boy. And he said, that's how I came out, just watching This Morning. It's the normalizing isn't the right word, but it's seeing yourself reflected on screen.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's almost if you see this on screen, you realise that's what your feelings are. You realise that's how you feel. It's almost, it gives you permission or bravery to say that, oh, I'm feeling this way. And I think that's the power of soaps. We see it with so many storylines. If we cover, I always say they are more influential than any politician. Swarla is more influential than the Prime Minister, you could say.
Not harsh, to be
Because,
fair.
yeah, that's a bad example. Sorry.
Swallow is more influential than Keir Starmer. So am I.
Yeah. Okay, that's rough. That's rough. But it's, if you can put out all the pamphlets, you can do all the campaigns you like. But if you see a story reflected on screen that has been your real life experience, whether it's something that's we always see a spike in calls to helplines if we do a miscarriage storyline or an infertility storyline or PTSD or whatever. It's you see it on screen. It gives you permission to sort of see those feelings reflected back on yourself, and then you go. It gives you that permission to say, okay, yeah, that's me too. So I think the fact that everyone is celebrating this and it's so joyous and it's so wonderful, maybe that's just giving some of these younger people the permission to go, oh hell, I'm going to go on TikTok and say I fancy the pants out of this girl, and it's okay. And I love that. And it's like, you don't have to do it through a 16-year-old character. You can do it through a character that we've known and loved for decades, as we have with Carla Connor. And I think that's far more powerful, because this person has been in your life for so many years, and then here she is saying all these things, and that's how I feel too. So yeah. Look, I love it. Do you know what? I just went on TikTok for the first time yesterday because somebody said you've got to be on it. And I was having a look and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is where you all are.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
Yeah. I love it.
It's where the kids are these days.
Yeah, I'm just on mama here. Like, oh, hello.
Yeah. What's all this about?
I put all complete the wrong handle up as well. It was all like, I got all wrong. They were going like, they literally call me Auntie Sharon. They go, Auntie Sharon, you got the thing wrong. I go, all right, I'll try again.
Oh, God.
Mama's learning.
It's all right. I can't TikTok either. There are people that go, well, why are you guys so insane about it all? But if you've never struggled to see yourself on anywhere, so when you finally do find a character that represents you, it's so rare and so special that, like, I mean, we just lose it.
Yeah, it's visibility, isn't it? That's the word I was searching for.
Yeah.
It's visibility. Well, it's interesting. We did the Coronation Street tour, the audience with, and one of the guests that we had on was Amanda Barry. So she was only killed off as Alma in, what is it? It was about 2000. But she was talking about, at the time when she was filming, she was in a same-sex relationship. She's now married to a beautiful lady called Hilary. But she felt like she had to keep that quiet and hidden. And she said all the cast, Eileen Derbyshire, John Savadan, they all hid it for her. They covered it up. She said if it had got out, she said, I feel I would have lost my job. I would have been shunned. So she kept it quiet. She kept it hidden. And she was saying that the difference now that we could sit on a stage and celebrate these I think she wanted digging up. She was like, can I go back?
I wish they would bring her back. She was such a good character. She was one of my faves, her and Mike.
Oh, well, yes. Although I did ask her who was a better kisser, Mike or Ken. Apparently it's Ken.
Gotta be
Country
Ken.
Mile.
Gotta be Ken.
Go on, Barlow.
He snogged everyone.
What a guy. What was your favourite bit?
I was just about to ask you. Well, my favourite bit, I don't know if I have a favourite bit, but I really did like Lisa's vows. I thought they were really heartfelt and really emotional. Like, I think she's been struggling for so long, and I've been struggling with Lisa as a character for the last couple of months, and so
you got her back.
I felt like I got her back, and she was just in that moment, it was like, yes. And so it was just easier to enjoy everything after that. So I really loved that, yeah.
Ali's going to despair of me because what I'm going to say is not as emotional. I like that they had pockets in their outfits. I really like that because as a gay woman, hopefully one day marrying another gay woman, I was like, look, we could
have pockets,
darling.
You can have pockets.
I do wish they hadn't spoiled the outfit reveal, like that moment where they see each other for the first time. That was a spoiler clip that they had released earlier. I kind of wish we'd seen that for the first time when we were watching the episode, because it was beautiful, but those outfits they were both just gorgeous. And I don't think that the stills did Vicky's dress justice, because during the episode it was like, it's stunning. It was stunning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a little bodysuit underneath with the pearls. It was like, I thought, oh God, that is such a genius way to transform any sort of low cut dress. You go, oh my God, yes, put a bedazzled bodysuit underneath. So you thought it should have been like a royal wedding, a proper royal wedding that we wouldn't dream of seeing a preview of the bride's dress.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. So we kept it all quiet because of course all my footage they were in the bridal gowns, but then as soon as that was released, I thought, oh well, we're okay to do it. I think it got the excitement going, but I do kind of hear you. Maybe that could have been a little excitement. I think for me, although the vows I watched and I instantly thought, oh, Damon, that sounds like you. So I was watching that and they were beautiful. For me, it was the joy of the whole casting in Corrie in the factory, dancing and being celebratory. That for me, it felt like this is a classic Corrie episode. That's what I think when I think of a Corrie. It's the packed rovers, it's the packed factory, and it's all the neighbours knowing one another and this little corner of the world being at peace with itself. Well, until the murder took place.
Well, and it was just a group of people that you wouldn't normally have. Like you had Izzy talking to Kit, which was hilarious, by the way.
This your first lesbian wedding then?
Joking, are you? I'm in the police.
But so when do you have Izzy talking to Kit and Kurt is there, and it was just a group of people that you wouldn't usually have, and they were all just dancing and having a great time. It was great. It was great.
I think that's the thing that's gone on with soaps. I think there is a danger sometimes when they do these little pockets of storylines, and we go off to, police stations or jail cells, which have all been good stories, and the Debbie dementia storyline has been fantastic, and she is fantastic.
She's
I love Sue.
What an actress!
But that for me is the joy of a soap. It's why you've set so many scenes in the Rovers or the cafe or the factory, and it is that interaction between, and that's what soaps were built on. That's what Tony Warren originally wrote, and it is the interactions of her down the road with the conservatory who thinks she's better than everyone else, or who we're hearing through the walls when the rows are going on, or the Barlows are thinking they're better than the Battersbys. And it's you're right, it's those relationships, those little pockets of, and that's what we're like in real life, isn't it? We all gossip about everyone else, and I think people just aren't. They're not in offices anymore. We're all working from home, and we're all in our little spaces and isolated. And it just reminds you of the joy of actually, if you go to work and seeing all these different people, just the joy of those relationships and those interactions. That to me is a real soap. Yeah, I think you're right. I love those scenes.
Yep.
And the dancing.
I've just checked my notes. Sorry, my favourite bit, I've just checked my notes, wasn't... it was the pockets, but it was also the reference to the Poseidon Adventure. Because before you joined us, Ali and I were saying, God, it's like, it does look... Because Poseidon Adventure happens to be my favourite film in the world, and it actually does look like the Poseidon Adventure in there.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to ask Damon if that's what he watched as well. But have you written notes then? What are your notes on? What have you written down in your notes from the episode? Pockets.
Pockets.
Don't get dressed to get dressed. I love that line. That was good.
That was deliberate. Yeah.
Yep.
Damon reactivated his Twitter account, and he said something like, "Hey guys, kids," and he did a really down with the kids thing. And so I literally texted him going, "Damon, is this you or is this someone in Pottingham?" And he goes, "Oh no, so I've just got a really young husband. I was trying to use language to be down with the kids." But that is genuinely him on Twitter, and he is the people X, we should call it. And I think he said it himself, going, yes, that was absolutely deliberate, dress to undressed. Any more questions on the script? I'm sure Damon will take them direct.
Well, I actually like some of the lines that weren't Swarla. I loved, if it's Jeffrey Dahmer, I'll tell him to be on his way.
Yes.
That was very funny.
Yes.
The turkey, lovely table manners when I put down the turkey Twizzlers. That's such a Coronation Street line.
Yeah,
so brilliant.
It's old school, isn't it? Yeah, and then like you say, it was a pure Corrie wedding. But how are you feeling after watching it? Is it everything that you'd hoped for in Swarladom?
I've been struggling for a few months now because the Becky storyline kind of wasn't great.
Yeah. Not dead enough, as Alice
I
said.
loved that.
Oh my God, that was so good. When she's like, well, she sent us a card.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the writers, I think they've said quite openly they weren't that keen on when it came out, but they did the best they could with it. That poor actress, though, she's so beautiful and she's so good, and that poor actress just must spend her life being hissed at.
Pretty much, yeah.
But maybe it just made it all the sweeter when they find she's gone to jail. She's all locked up. And Betsy's calling them both mum now.
Yeah. So look, so it was, for me, it felt like the Lisa that we knew, she was back.
Yeah.
And I was so determined to be positive about it. So it was great that I didn't really have to try that hard because it was beautiful and I loved all of it. Except there was too much Carl Webster. Not enough Sophie Webster. I know it was a long shot, but I wanted a cameo from the original Cobble's lesbian.
Oh, well,
It would have been good.
She's joining Hollyoaks now, isn't she?
I know. My dream of her returning is gone.
Oh, Ali, your dream is shattered, totally shattered.
I know.
Oh, well, we've still got Sally the ally.
I know.
She was so good in that episode.
She was great. She was really good.
The shimmy out of the coat.
Oh, I wrote that down because she obviously couldn't unzip it the whole way. There was obviously something broken with the zip because then she just went, oh, I'll just carry on dancing with the coat on.
we'll just style this out. Although I love there was so many characters and so many cast on it as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when a wedding you end up with just 3 people sat in the key seats in the church, and then the rest is sort of bulked up by extras, and you think, oh, they're not terribly popular. But I love it that they just had the whole of the factory down, they had a whole of the neighbours down, and it was really it was very celebratory when we were filming, because even the cast and the crew were all dancing on the mics when they were playing the music, and it was a really, really fun, happy days filming. It was a real sense of this is a joyful thing, this is a really good thing.
I did have some concerns about them having their first dance on the place where Rana was crushed to death on her wedding day, but
R.I.P. Rana.
R.I.P. Rana.
I did raise that with Ali.
And?
Well, I said to her, I said, well, this is the first successful women's marriage. Women marrying around. She said, is it? And I said, well, yes, because, and she goes, we've had weddings. And I said, well, no, because the first one was the runaway brides.
Yep.
And the second one, well, you should know Kate Connor, and then poor Rana, factory fell on that, and they just went, oh my God. And I said, still, you enjoy your reception at the factory.
Have a lovely dance.
So we decided it's what she would have wanted. I mean, it wasn't Carla that organised the reception there. And actually, wasn't it Gary that...
it was Gary.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there, was he? So he wasn't at the reception, so
No, he wasn't.
They got away with that.
It was a genuine surprise for Carla, and I think, yes, maybe if she'd been sat down and said the wedding reception's going to be here, maybe she would have gone, oh, hang on, Kate.
Maybe not.
They didn't invite Kate, did they?
They did not invite Kate. They didn't even
or
mention
Michelle,
Kate.
which we were insistent that she was going to show up.
Oh, so the day that they were filming,
Yeah.
Kim Marsh was sick and she had the day off her play. The understudy went on, so we were all so sure
You thought.
that she was there and that she was gonna make an appearance.
Oh dear.
At least we got a mention. I'm actually glad that they opened with the flowers from Michelle, because otherwise I think we all would have been just hanging on for the whole episode, just waiting for it. There was a tweet that was hilarious because we had convinced ourselves. So sorry to hear Kim Marsh was genuinely unwell that one time.
Yeah.
Because we had her, like, nah, she's faking it. She's not sick. She was back the next day.
Going over there.
Yeah.
But I love that I love what it was that the street that, I mean, obviously Sally the ally is currying herself wanting a pay rise in the factory, and she's gone for, but it's the fact that the whole street has come over to make something work for Carla and for Lisa, because they love them and they love their neighbours.
Even David Platt.
Even David Platt supplied the buffet.
That lad plays pissed really well.
He does.
We all know what the P stands for in Jack P. Shepherd.
Was he actually pissed?
No, he wasn't. He was sober as a judge, but he hadn't actually read his next scripts yet. So I said, look, we're doing Murder Week, and I said, so potentially your character might murder
Jodie.
Yeah. So and then I give him a shot. He goes, right. Oh. So I murder her, do I? Okay. So, well, no, I don't know. We're asking you that. He goes, I haven't read next week's scripts yet. Am I? I've got no idea.
Should have done what David Nielsen did and have them in his bag.
I know. He said it's finally the mystery of what he keeps in his bag. He went for his first audition. He when he auditioned, the character at first was supposed to be a bit of a misfit, a little bit of a stalker for Deirdre. And he turned up at the audition with this big carrier bag, and apparently the casting director went, what's in your bag? And he said, oh, history books, and started getting them out and talking, and then finished the chat, and then they went, okay, thanks. And he was like, well, do you not want me to audition? I go, no, that's fine. And I think they just went, that's Roy. We found him. So yeah, the whole bag carrying came from his original audition.
Oh, that's really funny. I mean, obviously you're privy to information before the rest of us. How long before the rest of us knew did you know that they were going down the Carla Lisa romance path? Because we got this, they're just friends for a really long time.
Yeah, we tend to know rough storylines and direction, because about this time, well, 18 months ago, we were planning the stage tour. We couldn't actually get people there in the end because there was Corriedale filming intervened. But we knew sort of when we were booking, so several months ahead, that there were that this huge relationship was going on. I tell you what's really lovely, to answer that question in a really oblique way, was that the NTAs, the National Television Awards, there was a group of fairly distraught Swarla fans because something had happened, or the two of them weren't together, and Kate actually told them over a year in advance of the wedding that everything was going to be okay. I love that, because we're all subject to so many embargoes, and you go keep it zipped. And I just love that the executive producer just goes, sees her own fans looking distraught, and goes, "Oh look, let me tell you, it's going to be
It'll
okay.
be all right." Yep.
Yeah.
It probably causes less pain to do it that way than to just leave them barking at her for an hour.
Well, she was. I mean, Vicky was originally coming in for the short storyline, and then it was extended, and then I think on the next extension, she was called forward by Ian and told that this was the direction that they were looking to go into. So they knew very early on. We do this thing of we call it deferred gratification on a storyline, because soaps never end. If we made everyone happy, tomorrow we've got nowhere to go. So yes, the idea is that you have your end goal in mind, and then you throw obstacle after obstacle, deferring that moment of happiness for the fans. And then when you finally get that, what you've got to do is start another story going off there. But thank God that they did just not decide to kill them en route. I think they realised what they got. They do watch, and they do listen, and it is monitored, and I think they realise what they got, and this is a ship that is working, because it's not the first time that they've tried it. Of course, there's been several. I mean, even Tracy Barlow slept with that lawyer after the night at the Effervescence tribute band. So they tried Kana. They have tried it before, but I think I think it's the quality of the two
Yeah.
actors, but also, as I say, it's done from the female gaze, the female boss who's put in. I mean, I think it's an incredibly brave thing for her to do, but also a really powerful thing to do, to say this is her own life, the boss at the top, and she's saying no, let's fight for it, let's fight for that visibility. Of course this should be a story that's told, of course this is a love that should be there, and we should be seeing it on our screens every day, so that people are sitting there looking at it and going, well, that's me, and that gives me the courage to say that this is me, and I want to celebrate that, and I want to have the ability to come out and say it's the everyday. It's soaps reflecting the everyday and the real lives. That's when they work.
And it was a really bold move to put Carla Connor, who was, this icon of the street for, she's been there for 20 years, and to go, no, we'll put her with a woman. Bold move.
Well, do you know what? They've thrown worse. They've thrown so much at her. I did ask her that when we were going through, because she is celebrating 20 years this year, and she said, God, been through so much sepsis, I think more than once, kidneys.
There's always spare kidneys. There's plenty of spare kidneys.
Well, I think she's got about 3 last count. And it was so funny because she doesn't know. She says, I don't have a spleen. Well, now does Tracy Barlow, so it's fine. I don't think you need a spleen. We were up at Corriedale filming. That was shrouded in such secrecy. They literally told me, report to this road in the middle. It was somewhere equidistance between Lancashire and Yorkshire, somewhere on the Pennines. Turn up at this road at 2:00 in the morning. We can't tell you who's going to turn up and be interviewed. We can't tell you what cast are going to be there. All we can tell you is it's some sort of car crash, and as people turn up, you can interview them, but it's all so secret because it was done so far in advance and under such secrecy. And then so up rocks Ali King, but then up rocks Mac from Emmerdale, who at that moment was just being buried in a bunker somewhere, and then there's Joe Tate, who's out stealing kidneys at that point. So I said, oh, you two ought to meet. She's got at least 3. You could have just got one of hers.
Well, they're not very good kidneys, though, are they?
Yeah, they're pretty wrong. But there was just this lovely moment in the coffee tent when they were all comparing stories about what had happened to the characters, and they were going, actually, we got off quite lightly.
Yeah.
Poor Carla.
Yeah, then she got locked in the cupboard by the dead ex-wife, and so, it actually turned out quite badly for her, but she got out.
She was always gonna. She's indestructible. I think as a fan of this storyline from fairly early on, I think what was good about having Alison King in it was like, oh, okay, they're not going to kill her off. They're not going to bury her. No. Bury your gaze isn't going to happen here.
I know.
Which I think was why everyone locked on quite early doors.
Because so many people already loved her.
Yeah.
You kind of had a whole group of the audience on board that may not have been if it was a different character.
She's your A-lister.
Yeah. She's main character energy.
Yeah. I mean, she can carry the episode. It was done, and it was done properly. When you're given that storyline to one of your top actors, and it's like Suki and Eve, the Panesars were huge. They're brilliant. They were really, really working. And Bal is the most terrific actress that's playing Suki. And so again, it was like, let's give the storyline to the one of our top actors in it, and Suki has worked brilliantly as well. I mean, you've got Peace, is fantastic.
Well, I'm a big fan of Suki, and I think the other thing that's really good about Suki comparatively is that Heather Peace has those lived experiences of actually being a lesbian. I think that added a lot to that story, and I love Suki. I think they're just amazing, and Balvinder Sopal, Heather Peace, like, what amazing actors.
I think it's one of those things where, of course, a gay character can play a straight character, and a straight character can play a gay character.
Yeah.
It's about the chemistry, and are you good?
Yeah.
Can you carry the story, and do you play it with your entire heart and soul? And they do, and they play it so carefully. You only need to listen to Vicky doing her chats on the day, and both of them, they both said to me in the chats they were so proud to be the first female couple living on the street, so proud to be part of that piece of Corrie history, and they knew how important it was, and they knew how big it was that they'd been given the story, and how wonderful that we've gone from Amanda Barry hiding what she was. I mean, God, she would have made a terrific ship.
Her and Bet Lynch.
Oh my
Can
God!
you
Now
imagine?
you're talking.
That we a couple of weeks ago, Ali and I said, like, who would we think could have been a gay in the past if things were different? I was like, imagine if Bet Lynch had been like, she's queer icon. It'd been amazing.
Oh my God. It would have been iconic. And do you know what? Pat Butcher as well. She
Oh.
could have played it. Don't kill these wonderful women up on
Oh.
screen.
They made such a clangor there, didn't they? Because they now bring her back, and everyone's like, I fucking love Pat Butcher.
Yeah. Well, she's been back as a ghost
I know.
twice. She's the only person who has. That's when you know you've made a mistake, when you don't bring her back as a ghost once, but twice.
Yeah. And she'll be back again, won't
We
she?
might have messed that one up. Or Rana might be outside the factory going, oh, congratulations, should have been me.
It should have been me.
Oh, they would have carried on that ship, wouldn't they, if Bavner hadn't gone, like, left the soap, I reckon.
I know, and do you know what? And there's ones I tried to get away at Emmerdale, but I never quite made it. I always wanted Vanity to be together.
Oh, Vanity.
I
Of
fought
course.
for that so much. I fought for that I wanted the 50th to be that.
We all still believe, Sharon. We all still believe.
She does still say it was the love of her life. But the other one that I
Best ever.
fought very strongly for Sarah, Debbie's daughter, as well. I wanted her.
Oh, yes,
I
and
wanted her.
Jasmine.
Well, no, I actually thought Chloe, because if you remember, she had Chloe's dead sister's heart. Carrie's daughter they made her, the beautiful redhead.
Oh, the one who had
And
the
I
baby.
thought there was a slight gothic. Yeah, she went off with the baby.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be a slight gothic romance of her lying there listening to her dead sister's heartbeat. But then I was just told I'm just being too gothic and mad. But I was saying, come on, Debbie Dingle's daughter. And she should have been coming out to Faith, was what I thought. I thought Faith would have totally got it, and
Oh,
she could have
yeah.
been out with there. But anyway, she's busy now. Oh no, she hasn't just had a baby, because her grandmother's actually given birth to Ross's child, but none of them know it yet. So there you go.
Great grandma,
Possibly great grandma. She's a dingle. So God knows.
But it's okay because the baddie doctor is bribing as well. I love that storyline.
Oh,
She gonna try and get off with Vanessa?
there's going to be an attraction as they start learning how to play darts. Yes, that was my face too.
Why do
I don't
lesbians
see it
always
at
have to be
all.
bad? Like, let them be good. Let them all
Yeah.
be lovely.
Well, hopefully Vanessa's just slightly confused because there's been a lot of drama and she doesn't know how to play darts. And soon she will realise.
Hang on, she does like a wrong 'un though.
But not Dr. Todd. She's horrible.
No,
Maybe
he is
Charity
horrible.
will come and save her and we'll get Vanity at last. Who knows?
I actually think there's a bit of it in the Doctor.
Manpreet.
Ah, Manpreet. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I'd ship that.
Yeah.
But seriously, we get Charity and Vanessa. All they have to do is walk into a room, look at each other, and I'm back on board. They are so good. They were so good.
They were so good. And Zoe Tate and Charity Dingle. That was, that was iconic. They were together as well. Zoe and Charity had a fling way back. And that one was very believable as well. I thought Zoe Tate was she was a fantastic character. I think before she blew up the farm and went off.
Off to New
She got for the
Zealand.
truck driver or something. I can't remember. But she's one of those. You got to go for these women that light up the screen. Not literally. Well, she literally did with her.
Yeah.
But Zoe Tate was your original lesbian in Emmerdale and was a terrific one. And Charity had real chemistry with her. And I've always seen it. Again, it's use your A-listers, isn't it? in
Yeah.
storylines.
Why do you think it is that, like, we talked about Vanity, Swarla, and Sue Keeve as well, I put in that. Why is it that some, other than it's gay, it's lived experiences, how, as a writer as well, like, how do you get that magic? How do you find, does it just appear and you go, oh, that's good? Or is there, like, a lot of construction that goes on behind it?
Well, the way that it will work is the writers will sit in the writers' room. Once a month, we have a 3-day conference. The way Emmerdale does it is all the writers come down, all 30. EastEnders does it with a smaller amount, so there'd be 6 or 7 in the room. And you pitch storylines and you debate it as a group. So you pitch your partnerships, and we all have a massive fight for 3 days, and see if you can see if you can get them through. And it doesn't always work. There's some that you think that should absolutely work, and then when you see them together, you go, no, it's just not flying. And then sometimes you see a little bit of sometimes an actor can steal a screen. You can go, well, you three of them are talked in a scene, and then we quite often come into the writers' room and go, I know those two are both supposed to be together, but did you not notice the real chemistry with that person there? And just the way they play a scene sometimes can just spark something. You just go, actually, those two should really be together. I mean, what one really good example is Roy with Hayley. That was just supposed to be a joke episode. I mean, it was talking years. It was a different time, but it was supposed to be done as a joke. But then the actors played it with such sensitivity and such warmth that they went, no, there's a genuine spark here. Because Roy was originally this oddball, this stalker. And then it kind of changed because the actor was so good. He kind of changed it, and he became this misfit that wasn't quite understood. But he found his Hayley, and it's like you always think it's, two aliens on a planet. You find one another, and you're the only two that understand one another, and you suddenly go, oh my God, Roy and Hayley just really, really works. And it's sometimes that you just see a moment on screen, but it happens quite often. I mean, Jack P. Shepherd talks quite openly. He was being fired. He was being killed off, and then he had one episode where he was supposed to be arguing with Gail, and it was the usual Gail and shouting and screaming and trying to shove her down the stairs and all of that. And he said, "Oh, I just played it differently. I just played it sad and quiet and just vulnerable." And he said they literally watched him filming it, and then somebody in the writers' room said, "Oh God, that's what we do. It's a little boy lost rather than this David the absolute monster."
Yep.
And unbeknown to him, his job was saved
Wow.
that afternoon. So and sometimes people, they can get a script and they are completely different. An actor can be cast and they can play the audition in a totally different way from how you imagine. So Faith Dingle is one example. She was brought in as Kane's mother, and it was to explain why I remember pitching it. It was because he was always this angry young man. He was having a series of affairs, and they wanted another affair for him. And I said, I'm bored of watching him cheat on the missus and go off with someone else. Let's explain why he is this way. And I said, well, his mother walked out on him when he was a kid. So the first woman that he loved walked out and abandoned him. So I think what he does is he self-sabotages all his relationships because he thinks that someone's always going to walk out on him. So if we bring that in, and originally Faith was this sort of I mean, she was always hard drinking. She kept that bit, but very spiky, and very, very defensive character. And then we played his audition scene, and the actor Jeff just was like the actress that played Faith was only about 10 years older than him. But Jeff on his audition with her, he just looked like a little boy. She just brought something out with him, the way that he played, and you could see him reacting to her in the audition because she was playing it. We had some really well-known A-list actress coming in to read for it, and she just played it in a different way. He said it was just the way she was looking at him. He just felt like he was a little boy, and you saw him reduce back. And then we watched the audition scene, and then we completely changed the way that we were writing Faith and made her a completely different character. And we said, yeah, he becomes like this little boy around her. And so what we're going to play is more, can he forgive his mother for what she did to him? And it will cement his relationship with Chas more. So a lot of the times it's what the actor gets hold of and what they do that you go, let's go down this route. But yeah, there's lots of partnerships that should work on paper, and then you see them Honestly, and sometimes it's like, oh my God, that's like two guinea pigs in the room nibbling at each other and lettuce. There's nothing there. And you go, abandon, abandon.
One assumes back in the day that was Deirdre and Dev.
No! Oh my God. So he told me about that scene. So Annie Kirkbride had a photographic memory. She could just read the script once and she was off. So Dave at that time, Jimmy, quite a young actor, and he said he was really quite nervous about it. So he sort of went in to have a chat with Annie. She lit up a fag, as she always did. And then she said she just went, finished the fag and went, right, we're going to do it then. And he said, and she took all her kit off. And he was like, right,
Wow.
let's go and do it. But he's just like, Dave is Mr. Suave, Mr. Confident. And he said he was completely overawed by the fact that, oh my God, I'm in bed with Deirdre Barlow. This is an icon. I love that. That was one of my favourite things. It was just the next morning when they both turned around and looked at each other on the pillow. What? Dev looked terrified.
I remember watching that with my mum and just being like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, that was the love triangle, wasn't it, as well, with the Mike? But I remember watching that and my mum was furious because my mum actually wanted her to go off with Mike. And my dad was like, no, she should stay with Ken. And I think that was... Because there's a lot of marriages and we're going, no, she should stay with her husband and not go off with a really rich guy down the road making denim. But isn't it lovely that we sort of all those relationships that we talk about and that you do have those conversations? I think that is the power of soap. It just brings people together. With people are so much on their phones in their little world, they're all divided. But I think what's lovely about this Swarladom is that people are just all together. So even at the show, what I loved was there was lots of people came to see the stage show, and the only thing they had in common, so we had different age groups. So we had families coming in, family groups, but then there was a group of girls, and they were young. They were like 20s, 30s. The only thing they didn't know one another.
Yeah.
And yet they were all. We went out after the show. We went down to a club, and then somebody said, "Oh, Sharon, there's a bunch of people in the nightclub downstairs in Swarla t-shirts. I think it's the people who come in." We went down. None of them had known each other, and they'd just all gone out clubbing together. And I thought, oh, isn't that just, it's just the power of the soap. That's what it was always supposed to be. Families gathered around the set, seeing your own lives reflected. And, it's that, I think I'm so lucky in my job. I said that normally when they see most of the celebrities, they don't know what to say. And they just sit there and you can sort of hear people muttering, oh, God, it's Alison Hammond, it's Alison Hammond. Oh, look, over there, it's Josie. People just come up and they always know what to say with me because they just start talking about a storyline. Yeah. And it's such a leveller. You can literally go in, royalty watches it because the Queen, when she met Chesney, she said, oh God, she was talking about his parents, thinking she knows exactly what this is. The Queen was watching the Battersbys and little Chesney there, and it's just such a leveller. And I think when there's all this stuff going on in the outside world, it just lets us escape in a room. But it's also a thing that it's bringing people together, and that's what Tony Warren had always wanted to do.
It's a comfort as well,
and it's escapism.
Absolutely. As a writer, because you've written a couple of wildly popular ships in your time, is there a lot of pressure when you are writing these like really popular couples? Because if you get it wrong,
they let you know.
The fans will let you know. They will let you know.
You've got to try and shut that out and not write for Twitter.
Yep.
And you have to close your eyes and you have to, this is quite an old process. You have to close your eyes and imagine the two people have walked into the room and try and just listen to them and let them and imagine what they would say. And yet there is that temptation to go, oh, let's write a line that's going to go down well with people. But what you've got to remember is that you're part of a cog in a very long machine that is a story that has got to be sustained over weeks, months, years. So you can't stick everything in your script that you would want them to say. But you know, when sometimes you were told you have to put a certain story point in, you have to make the person cheat, you have to
Yep.
do this or that because it's there in the storyline and you can't get away from it. And there's a few times I go,
Yep.
"God, I'm gonna
Oh,
get killed." I feel like there should be a disclaimer, you know, at the end they go like there's language in here and there's this happening and there's this and by the way, the writer was told to write this.
This is the thing, though. The writers are the first ones. Writers always cop it. They're like, why are the writers making them do this? It's like the writers aren't making them do anything.
You gave them these words.
So when you get told to like write a script, what do you get? Like, do you get plot points, or what do you get told before you go off to write it?
So you would sit in that room for 3 or 4 days in the writer's room and you would pitch your stories. And then what the story team does is it goes away and they pick the stories that they want to do and they break it down into beats or moments and then it will go across the week. And each episode will have 3 or 4 stories, say 20 to 25 characters or something, and you will be given a list of characters that are available in your scene and a list of story points that you are expected to hit. So the story editors might write a sort of version of it, but you can completely change that. It's like a walk in the park. So what Damon will have been given is that you know the place has been flooded, but Lisa arranged this, that Sally is helping, and these are the casts that are available, and then they have the reception at the factory. But everything that goes in between, how they say the vows, what they're dancing to, what the interactions are between the characters, as long as you bring it to the end point that's specified in your document, so the next person can pick up the baton, you can write whatever you want in the half hour there. You've got to hit the story points. It's all got to follow through. So you can't suddenly have someone suddenly start kissing someone, even though you might think, well, Twitter would love that. You can't just suddenly throw that in because that might be a moment that they're saving for this point. Because it's a journey, and we've got to hit those plot points. But I always used to liken it to I get scripts and I'd go, oh, I've got the bad stripper script, which means that there's something. I always say it's like a stripper who's really bad at his act, or he doesn't have very much equipment that has been hired for a hen party. So what would he do? He'd start swinging things around and putting it on a show. So if I've got something, there's a story over here that I really don't agree with and I really don't think it would happen, I would try and do the dialogue here, but then over here I'll be having 2 people having an argument. And so I'll put the plot thing in and I'd bury it right down. I used to get told off for that all the time. And they go, why do you not just write the story? And I go, because I don't agree with the story and I don't like it. I want them to look over here at the guy swinging things. You don't necessarily always agree with everything that you've been given, but your job as a writer is to make it work the best that you can. So sometimes you would get something in and go, right, okay, they're doing this, I don't necessarily like it, but how do I make that as true as I can for the characters that I've got in the voice that I've got? I always look at it and go, let me try and find the truth in it. Let me try and work out a way to do it. So my first episode that I had, going back to EastEnders, for example, I had one that was all about gangsters and drug dealing, and I was like, it's not my world. But then your trick is to look at it, and it was Ravi, and I was going, right, well, Ravi is a family man. Why is he doing this? He's doing this to try and build a life for Nugget because he doesn't want Nugget to have the background that he's got. So what I would try and do is yes, he has to go off and do the drug dealing and the gangster stuff, but I will try and make at the heart of my episode the conversations and his worry over his child, because I would look at it and go, well, I can understand the story as a parent, why he might be driven to do that. So you try and find the truth in it, and you try and put your own voice and experiences in, your lived experiences in it as much as possible. So say, for example, I had Whitney giving birth, and she was supposed to give birth in a taco van, locked in a taco van.
Lovely.
You know, and Zach had cheated on her and all of this, and Lauren was there, and she was supposed to be delivering the baby, having slept with the baby daddy.
Yep.
But I just said, oh, actually, no, because if you think about her last experience when she gave birth, it was a stillborn baby. It was really traumatic. So I don't think we can play this birth scene for laughs,
Yep.
because this girl is going to be terrified because her last experience of giving birth, the baby didn't make it. So can I please, I've got to get her to hospital. Okay, but you need another obstacle for her to be giving birth. Then I said, okay, what we'll do, I mean, this has come from my experience because I'd had miscarriages and bad experiences in the past. So I said, okay, what we'll do is we'll get the doctor that told her, that delivered the baby last time, the stillborn baby. So when she gets there, she goes, no, she can't come anywhere near me. She can't come anywhere near me. And then they're saying, this is an emergency. The baby is coming. Trust me. As I said, though, we put the same jeopardy in, but we play this, the end result of the story is she gets her baby, but we play it into the character's past, that there is this fear of her giving birth. And they let you do that. It's all a discussion at the storylining meeting. We still had the moment of the waters breaking and going into labour in the taco van. But I was like, can we get her out the taco van into hospital? And we can't play this scene for laughs. So that's our job as writers, to put realism in and to try and make as much of our lived experience as we can to make things real. And as much as we can, though when you've got people coming back from the dead, it's sometimes tricky.
I do feel sorry for those writers throughout that storyline.
Ali watched all of this, but I as soon as she dropped the wine glass, I stopped. I just waited until it was all over. I was like, I don't want to.
I wish I'd stopped.
Isn't that terrible? I love soaps, but I was like, I just won't watch it. I don't know, and I don't think I was alone, because we covered this a few weeks ago about the viewing figures went down. Which is amazing to think that people actually actively turned off potentially from a storyline. That must be hard as a writer.
Well, you just think of the sheer volume of what we are producing as writers across all the soaps, the sheer number of episodes. You're doing 3 feature movies a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, do you know what? We're not always going to get it right. But I think if you do it with as much heart and passion as you can, and understanding of people and lives, and isn't it lovely that just sometimes some things fly?
Yeah.
And that's I think that's one of the lovely things I've seen about Swarla is everyone is worrying. We're all across the whole of the industry on drama, viewing figures, magazine circulations, newspaper circulations. Everyone's looking at it and going, "Oh gosh, it's worrying." And redundancies. We've just gone through that on ITV. Half my colleagues who I've known for 20 years gone out the door. Good people, really brilliant people. And then what I'm loving about this is, as you say, the newsstands are completely emptied. Of magazines, and people are wanting posters of the girls, and TikTok is consumed with people repeating stuff from the storyline, and we're all joyous and we're all united. And I just think, oh well, thank God that this has been, it's the first time they've done it in 66 years. I think they'll be thinking we should have got around to that a bit sooner.
We should have done that,
Should have allowed
Tracy Barlow and the lawyer, you could have made it.
Oh, loved a bit of Paula.
I'm now wanting to know who the actual murderer is. So there's 2 questions coming out the episode as well. I know it was all Swarla and that was fantastic, but next week is each day is played out from the point of view of somebody as we go on the people's stories, and we work out. I think it's at the end of the week we finally find out who's getting murdered. And Betsy, the actress, did say, she said, "Oh, a director did say I'd make a really good assassin because I've got that innocent face." So, although I don't think she could have killed anyone in those heels.
No.
Nah.
She couldn't keep a gob shut either.
I just want it to be Theo, and I just want George Shuttleworth to shove him in a coffin and send him off to the crematorium.
That's what I said. George can kill him and put him in underneath another body, and no one will ever know. Just pretend he fucked off.
Well, Gary, Gary could kill again.
He's got
he
form,
gets
hasn't
away
he?
with it.
Yep.
I like the idea of him being run over by a tram to kind of mimic the whole Rita
Oh my God.
domestic abuse
yes.
storyline from like the 80s. I think that would be quite cool.
Or a bit of divine retribution. It's a shame we haven't got a church, because I wouldn't be off, Billy doing some lightning strike and a big crucifix coming up and getting him. As long as Theo is gone,
Well,
I think
he has
all
to
the
go.
rest-
He has to go,
Yes.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, I found that so
Hard.
it was a hard view. I mean, he done
Mm.
brilliantly. Gareth is acting his socks off as Todd.
But it's a hard watch. It's a hard
Hard.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was interesting, wasn't it? We got those two gay relationships, and one is so celebratory and so wonderful, and the other one is just so mired in misery. But that's real life as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? And that's what I love. It wasn't let's get the focus on it's same-sex relationship. It was just, this is relationships.
Yeah.
Some the good and the bad, and just the way it's all weaved in. But yes, everyone else can go to jail, or Maggie can stay behind the bar. The amount of free rounds she gives out.
Do you not think she's becoming a bit inconsequential now and therefore probably will die?
No, I think that'll be a wasted death.
Do you think?
I think it'd be a waste.
But also, she's such a massive actress.
Yeah.
Like I wonder whether she's agreed to do 6 months and then she's off.
No, I think getting the Rovers, being the landlady of the Rovers, is an iconic role.
Yeah, that's
When you're
true.
given the Rovers bar,
Yeah.
I think you want to say that. I like the Driscolls.
Me too.
Wasn't quite sure about the Steve McDonald is my brother, but I like it. I think it's cementing them with the family, and I can see why they've done it. But I like the energy.
Well, and it kind of cements Steve as well,
It
doesn't it? 'Cause
does.
otherwise Steve's a bit rudderless as well.
Oh, I just want him to go out with Jodie Granger.
Oh,
should be
that
do-
would be so good.
Glenda. Get him behind the bar, him propping up the bar in the Jack Duckworth role. I'm just coming here to support the missus.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd...
Drinking all the profits.
What would the name be? Stender?
Glenda Shuttle McDonald Shuttle McDonald. Oh, I don't know.
Gleave. I think Gleave.
Glaive.
Yep, Gleave.
Gleam.
Yep.
Well, there we go. There's our pitch. There's a ship that I can get behind. Steve
Well-
McDonald,
Well,
as
I've got-
Claire Sweeney is going.
Oh. I'm shipping Rhodey, which is Ryan and Jodie.
Yeah.
But that's only until we get #Rue, which is when Lou gets out of prison and Lou and
Yes.
Ryan hook up.
Love her.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah.
She has got
Yep.
to come back. We
And
fucking
so
love
much
her.
storyline to go there with the kids as
Yep.
well. Yeah. No, I was she was a victim in
Yep.
all of it,
Mm.
and
Yep.
she's your classic Corrie walking wounded. Yeah.
And she only bopped Gary on the head. Nobody cares about Gary. Let her out.
Come on, Gary's killed thousands. Never mind.
He killed Rana. He killed Rana.
Rana.
R.I.P.
Yes,
Rana.
so some of them we forgive, but some of them are fine. He's burying baddies in the woods, but yes, it was him. He altered the factory roof, didn't he? So
Yeah,
it
he
is
did.
all his
Yeah.
fault.
Yep.
I know. Even Ali King said to me, she goes, "Have I killed anyone?" I said, "No, you shot Tony Gordon. You had to go."
Well, there was there was that worker that died when she fell down the stairs and they covered it up.
I've forgotten about that one. Yes, you have murdered.
Mm.
I love how little Ali King knows about her. She's like, have I
No.
done this?
I think it's just 20 years, if you imagine, where you're just constantly with dodgy kidneys, or brothers coming in with a gun, with holding you hostage, and then sepsis, and then people back from the dead. You forget the little details of workers coming off scaffolding.
Yeah, what next? What next? She just sort of rolls with the punches.
Yeah, Ali just does the driest one-liners, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She was saying she's genuinely so proud of the storyline, and you can tell it does absolutely mean an awful lot to both of them that they've been given it, because it's a true moment of Corrie history. I'm just relieved that everyone liked it, because it's been such a build up. It feels like we've been doing it for so long, and then it was just so lovely to be sort of reading everyone sort of saying the vows have been perfect, the girls look great, and like you say, we didn't kill our gays on the way to the altar.
That's a win.
No.
That is a win.
We'll kill a straight man, hopefully. Incidentally, with Vicky Myers, I say this quite often. It's like, I can't believe she hasn't been a mainstay on ITV dramas for 20 years. Where has she been? She is also an incredible actress, and it feels like she's always been on our, she's like, I feel like she could be a Sarah Lancashire or a Saran Jonesy sort of person, and it must be so amazing to find those people.
Well, she had auditioned several times, but she talked about coming in and playing. I think she was playing a nurse or a receptionist, and then she just stayed and watched the takes and watched the other actors working.
Yeah.
And you can see it's and quite a few of them I spoke to about that. They've tried and tried to get the roles, and quite a lot of the cast had auditioned for one role, didn't get it, and then tried again for something else. There's a lot of brilliant actors out there, and I think it's a really tough time for everyone to get cast. But what I think is really good is that when someone has tried, because she was on the point of giving it up, thinking it just isn't going to work, as lots of actors have said to me, they're on the point of thinking, well, I'm just not going to make it. And she didn't think she had the role at Corrie, and then they rang her back, and she had it. But I think when you come to a role later in life and you get success later in life, you don't, perhaps, if something's handed to you when you're 18 or 20, you think, oh, life's always going to be like this, I'm always going to get these things, it's always going to be this easy. And I think when you get it a little bit later, you do appreciate it, and you do it just strikes me, everything is done with such thought. There's such thought behind it, and it's down to every detail of how she's playing it and saying things. She's just really thought about. And I think it must be quite big and quite overwhelming to find yourself in the centre of the ship. And I know some of the younger actors who've had it, and then they've had this sudden explosion of interest and fandom. They've found it really difficult to deal with, and really difficult to handle. And I think if you're coming into it, and that's why I think that they're right doing it with people who are older, because you can perhaps deal with it a little bit more easily. She's had a life. She's a mother. She's cemented in her life, and it's not like she's come out and got the first role that's coming, and then just been launched into this bewildering life. So I think both of them are just, they've been pitch perfect all the way through. And if you think just one wrong word, an entire fandom turns. You know?
We are
I
brutal.
feel quite
We're brutal.
removed from that. Like I gave up on Twitter in the end because I was like, this is too much. Because I suppose you're right, the word is overwhelming. It is when you watch and look at it on any of these channels, it's like the hashtag will be in the top 10 trending topics at 7 a.m. It's like it must be, as an actor or as a writer or anyone involved in it, it must be overwhelming. Yeah.
Because I think when you're in Corrie, you're in the absolute bubble that you come in, you've got scripts to learn, you're in the safety of the building, you perform your scripts, you go home, you learn your scripts, you come back. But what social media has done is perhaps exposed you to it. How they've managed to keep the feet on the ground through all of it, because I would say I was up there filming, and it was very much a team thing. Everyone was equal on the day, cast, crew, it was all on a level, and the girls have aced it at every step. And what I love is that she does talk to people, and she does respond, and she does write, and both of them will make room in a schedule on what must have been a horrifically long filming day and week to come and do some filming with us, which is brilliant, and I'm very, very grateful for. So there we go, Swarla done.
And we're all very grateful, especially because we haven't seen Ali doing these things for a really long time. So it's fantastic.
She's funny. She's
so
funny. She
funny.
makes me foul. She's so sharp, and she's so witty to say. She'll just put the dry one-liner or do the look to camera, and it's the scene. She just steals the scene, doesn't she?
It's the physical theatre. She's got such good physical presence. That like. Even like we were talking about this last week, like they even have her sit a bit gay now. Like
Did you notice?
Yeah, like she holds a glass a bit gay. She sits a bit gay.
Well, what is a gay way of holding a glass? I'm sorry.
Let's see you hold a glass. Let's see you hold a glass.
Well, I've just got my coffee cup.
Straight as you like. It's like you've got to hold it sort of in a weird sort of way, like.
I can tell you the exact image that you need to look up. It's
please.
She's wearing a grey blazer. She's leaning on the factory door, and she's holding the whiskey glass from the top.
So gay.
Like that.
Guys, I mean, I thought I was a soap expert, but I bow before you. I am clearly not watching this with anything like the level of detail that you are.
We have expertise in lesbian soap details. That's
Sorry to let you down with Miss Straightdom. I carry on holding my coffee cup. Look, I'm just watching and enjoying the love story and the story for what it is. I'll sit here and hold my coffee cup in shame.
next time you see Carla sitting, you'll be like, "Oh, that is gay."
I'm gonna look at this.
Yeah, compare it.
Yeah.
Compare it to 10 years ago. Compare her sitting next to Peter Barlow, and then compare her sitting next to Lisa Swain.
How did she hold the coffee cup when she was with Tony? Murderer.
Shaking at all
Shaking.
times, one assumes.
Well, that was the wine glass.
No wonder
That's what did for her kidneys.
her kidneys.
Oh, well, I've learned something today, girls. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Yep.
Do you know what? I'm going to go off. I'm going to pour myself another cup of coffee, and I'm going to watch how I hold that coffee cup. So, because I want to get the coffee, the old kettle on. Do you mind? I am terminating the interview, and it is 11:31.
Finally, you're going home. I decide when she goes home.
Is this going to take long?
It'll take as long as it takes.
You need to let her go.
Wait there. Let me find the key. You're free to go.
Why?
Because I'm the supervising officer and I say so.